Hi, welcome to this computer system. It's our flagship and Ctrl-T. There you go. We are up to date and I just pressed the button Alt-N to have a next variety. So variety is a little tool that's interesting, and check out the preferences and set them any way you see fit. And the keyboard shortcuts are on ArcoLinux important. We have, and that's the video, we're talking about installation of ArcoLinuxD Qtile. And we have on ArcoLinux so many tiling window managers, and they are keyboard driven. So we tend to have all the keyboard settings, all the keyboard bindings, right? Ctrl-T, Super Shift, Enter, and so on. Lots and lots of keyboard bindings are always there. Like Super Shift D, the D menu, something pops up there, and I can navigate, I can type. I'm gonna look for Firefox. Enter, it launches. So all these key bindings are in here, and it's important that we start to learn them, because we are going to go to Qtile, which is a tiling window manager. There is no button that says menu, right? And Mate, Cinnamon, Plasma, all these guys, they have it, but some of them don't. All right, we're making a video about this. Maybe we can let Super F7 do its work. So VirtualBox, let's remove Plasma. Let's do a ArcoLinuxD, that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna install Qtile, enter. We have a clone. And the only thing I need to say is go get me ArcoLinuxD. You take the ISO, that's the last, right? And then you do Ctrl-Alt-F to have a full screen. Now, before, and so that the system can find, hey, this guy has 1920 on 1080 or 4K or anything, right? It's going to go full screen, and that's of course what we like. Let's wait a little bit for that to happen. I can actually go in here. Yeah, cool. What we're gonna talk about is it seems 4 options. We are going to talk about ArcoLinuxD, but it matters that you know the phases, the learning phases, that matters, right? But also the ISO, the project itself. We are on ArcoLinuxD, and the D stands for decide the desktop. You decide what you want to learn. You want to learn about XFC? Cool, it's here. You want to learn i3? It's here. And what we're making now is an installation video. Do you want to install Qtile, right? And if you want to learn about Qtile, it's there. Okay, the ArcoLinuxD ISO is the most minimal one, and you can either decide to use Calamares to install Qtile, or say, never mind, I'm just going through all the windows, not selecting anything, and then in the end I'm gonna say, what will you say? You will surf to arch wiki Qtile, right? And learn, read, this is Qtile. And install one of the following packages. We do sudo pacman -s Qtile. That's what it means, install. And so on, we keep on writing. We do not have this thing. We use LightYam, right? But you start understanding and reading what it means to work on Qtile. We've done that exercise. You should do the exercise. If you want to learn more, of course, right? You can just use it and not read all of this. Just pointing out, the Arch Wiki is a vast amount of knowledge, as of course is our own. If you want to have a look at our own elements, which is still open somewhere, right? It's still here in phase 3 Qtile. They're all here. So that's another thing, using scripts, and I'll go deeper in it when, and maybe we should do that, when it's busy, right? Let's go over it. How to install ArcoLinuxD. First, think about Arch Linux mirrors. Maybe I should get the fastest mirrors in. Let's do this one. Often I don't do it, and I just say, look guys, my personal selection that it gives me is cool, and if I'm fast enough, I can still show you, and it's not overwritten yet. So Osbeck is for me a good selection. So the first one is often going to be great for everybody, basically. But clicking this button, the update will be done now, and it's going to be a different thing. It's going to say that Cellian VDB France, from France here, is going to be the first one, and Osbeck is the fourth one, right? So in speed, today, this very second, Osbeck loses and is not the fastest one. So that's important. Why? If you want to install a lot of stuff, then you best get the fastest server. This is if you want to clean everything up. If you say, let's start with a clean slate, because, oh yeah, I have Ubuntu installed and Chaos installed and Linux Mint installed and have all kinds of partitions on there. Let's start with a clean slate. Then Gparted is a great tool to remember that you can delete partitions, you can change things here. You should have a look at all these guys. It's interesting to learn Gparted. But even if you don't run Gparted, Calamares will just clean everything up and will just erase everything. All right, this is the version. Choose the language and then choose whatever you want to install. So this is a minimal thing. So you have choices to install other kernels, but I would suggest you just skip this thing and then think about other things. Maybe you like to have some sounds, right? Sound or not. Printing support or not. Choices. I'll always skip this in the video, but of course, select it if you want it. And as standard, we use LightYAM. We have themed and tweaked it. It's incredibly changed if you use the ArcoLinux LightYAM GTK greeter, right? So without the ArcoLinux in front, you'll see it's all black and it's not nice. So we've changed it to have a nice look. And LightYAM will be our thing. And then it's up to Qtile to do its thing. So a lot of choices, a lot of desktops to choose from. We have 20 of them. And this is our bunch that we say, if you want to have a workable Qtile, I want to have a file manager, I want to have a drop-down terminal, I want to have my tweak tool there, etc., etc. Things that I would like to have. All right, then we do next. And again, we do need internet and a stable internet. If it breaks somewhere in the middle of the installation, Calamares will just crash, right? And you start always Calamares before connecting. You first connect and then you start Calamares. If you do it the other way around, it will say there is no internet, right? First get internet working with a LAN cable is the easiest thing, really. And then if you select something, internet is available, it will be downloaded and it will be installed. So the more you select, the more patient you'll have to be in the end. When Calamares is around 70 to 80%, you'll have to wait till everything is downloaded and everything is installed. We've done already a lot of things. I've played around with the settings. So as having some fun, right? Every installation you see, every video you see is a little bit different. It's going to give a little bit different information, right? But also in the Calamares edition. And maybe before I forget, there is a super tool, a super article on ArcoLinux. Look how long it is. It's all about Calamares. Let's go up. Well, actually, let's go to the home. It's here. I always gonna leave it here. There are two things important: getting it installed and learning about Skel. These two things are important. There are so many questions about Calamares and there are so many videos, 30 plus videos, combinations with Windows, combinations with other things, explaining detailed technical stuff, and so on. It's a vast amount of knowledge just about the installer Calamares. And there are very complex things in here, like 4 partitions, here it is, 4 partitions using Windows together with, and so on and so on. It's all in here. Here is Windows, right? Changing the default boot. So anytime well, the first thing you need to know, let's include it in this video, start with Windows 10. If you do want a dual boot, it's not my choice. right? It is not my choice. But if for some reason you need to dual boot, then first Windows 10 and then any Linux distribution. I don't care if you're using ArcoLinux, right? I'm just sharing knowledge here. First Windows 10, then Linux Mint or Ubuntu or Solus or anything else. And then you'll see that any Linux distribution will put him first. And sometimes you want to have Windows first, right? Because 80% of the time you're at school or you're working and you have Windows 10, and a few times you go to ArcoLinux and boot up with Linux. And it's explained as well. So a lot of things are in here. Okay, lots of things. So why am I not dual booting? Let's end with that, because I'm making the video a little bit longer here. I have it on ArcoLinuxD.com to show if you want to distro hop all you want with an SSD bay, right? I don't know if it exists with laptops, but I show you the whole way, every detail, video. I'm actually mounting, opening up my computer, and I'm showing what to do. It's not that difficult to put in an extra bracket so that you can actually boot from the Windows gaming SSD, pop it out and put in awesome ArcoLinuxB SSD. And that's how I have all of these desktops. I suppose, I'm looking back, I don't know, I suppose I have around 25, 30 SSDs. And every SSD has one operating system. No issues, no frustrations. Okay, done talking about that. So let's choose something. No swap, swap to file. That's a new guy, swap to file. I've made some manual partitions with just root and then with home, and never with swap. So let's make it difficult. And then you say, Eric, this Calamares is broken. What's this? This is an SSD that comes from the shop, from the shelf. There is nothing partitioned. There's nothing on there. It's blank. So I'm gonna create a partition table. In VirtualBox, in the beginning, you say if you have a UEFI or a BIOS. And it's not the time to change it now. You have to change it before, right? So I need to choose MBR because I set it. Free space. Let's create something. Let's think. What if I create a root partition of 10,000, 10 gigs, and I want it to boot? Would be nice, right? Okay. What if I have still 20 gigs? What if I take 15 for my home? So that's home Eric, right? All my things. All right. And what if I take a swap partition for the rest? So again, this is root, which means it's etc, it's user bin, you name it, right? It's everything else but home. And then a swap partition. And off we go. This is general information, right? It's not an error or anything, it's just a general information. But I don't have a GPT partition table, so I'm clicking it away because I have an MBR. Click. Next. Next. And while that's doing its thing, we can talk a little bit more about the article. So ArcoLinuxD. D stands for desktop. It's minimal. It's all about phases, learning about desktops, right? Using the ArcoLinuxD ISO. You can install it during installation. That's what we're doing, option 1. Or you can skip everything and use scripts. You can use ArcoLinuxB, which means you build it yourself. That's the point of the B version. Build your own ISO, Qtile, and be in control. Put Brave Bin on there, put Dropbox on there, put InSync on there, put Steam on there, and it's gonna be on your personal ISO. Burn it on USB, and off you go. Install it. These are some things of the last time. And then you have these scripts, right? Well, no, let's go on, and one more, option 4, Ctrl-Alt-E. On ArcoLinux, you have this tweak tool if you want, right, on ArcoLinux. And you have here the possibility to just say, let's install BSPWM. It's one click, 3 seconds, and you have it. You have a combination of, in my case, it's the flagship, XFCE, OpenBox, i3, and BSPWM. And it's just so super flexible. And that's what we do up here. Super flexible. We just add things, mix things together. Starting with ArcoLinuxB, XFCE, and you hear something about the new desktop, and you say, oh, Ctrl-Alt-E. Let's quickly have a look at this new desktop, DWM, that Coritani made. Click, install. 3 seconds, tops. It's installed. Log out, log in, and you are working on DWM, right? So it's these choices that give you the ultimate freedom to do whatever you want with ArcoLinux. Start from scratch, use an ISO that's already built. You just download the ISO, right? Download the ISO, no problem. We have no problem that you download it. But it's built, it's meant to be built. It's sharing the knowledge. How do you build an ISO? And in this case, we're looking for Qtile, right? And 53, which is not accurate, 74 people have already downloaded ArcoLinuxB Qtile, and that's cool. But to have a look at the build your own ISO, it's so simple. It's just following a video. It's so simple. And then, still waiting, right? Cool, still waiting, we still have time. Option 2, install the desktops using ArcoLinuxD in our scripts. We'll do this together, and I'll show you the option 2 as well. But basically, all that we're doing, and it's already here, I think. All we are doing, it's here, but it's not here, right? All our desktops are on here. And all you do is you git clone, basically, you copy paste from the internet to your computer, and you run scripts from 100 till 800, done. Second time you do the installation, you think a little bit more and say, this thing that's in 200, I don't like it. I don't like to install Sublime Text, Meld, Atom. I love my Visual Studio Code, right? Because it's cool, university, we need to use it. I'm using it in Linux too. Cool. So cool, right? So this is more cherry picking. This is more saying, I want to have this and that and not that and not that. I never work with GIMP or Inkscape. I'm not graphical. I'm not interested in that. But I would like to have a torrent, but maybe another application, another torrent. So you do an F12 and you say, yay, torrent. What's available on Linux about torrents? The Luge is there, KTorrent is there, Transmission is there. Oh, there is more than QBitTorrent. Sure, right? Have fun, explore. So basically, it's entirely up to you to decide what you run. That's one thing. And what's in here. You can reuse the scripts. Don't, well, use the freedom and delete things and add things to the scripts and put them on your own personal GitHub for next installation. And in the meantime, it's finished. That's how we do it, right? Done. And we follow along. So what do they say? In option 1, they say that we end on a black screen. What's the fun in that? Well, not much, right? So we want to go to something graphical. The system needs to know. Let's type update already. The system needs to know, what did you select? Did you select SDDM? Did you select LXDM? GDM? Or was it LightDM, right? And in our case, we use LightDM everywhere. On all our ISOs, it's always LightDM. in all these years, it never failed us. That's important. Choosing the right Lego blocks also comes with years of experience. If you're using ArcoLinux or ArcoLinux for years, you tend to have this kind of workflow thing that you want to have this and not that and this and not that, and it's kind of frozen in, right? Let's be honest, we tend to fall back always on the things that we know will work or we used to, right? It's a workflow we are actually used to a particular browser or something like that, a particular editor. And it's still a personal choice, and well, try to keep an open mind from time to time. And that's how I learned about Vivaldi. I've learned about the Brave browser, and it's important to sometimes, well, stray, to sometimes not follow the standard path you would follow and use a different application, and maybe you fall in love with it, right? And then your workflow is changed. So we're doing an update. We did not do mirror. We thought the mirror would be okay. We can actually have a look in another TTY if you want to, right? I'm opening TTY 4. What are we using? Osbeck is there again as the first, right? That's why it was so fast. Control F2, F1, I'm on F1. There we are. So your system needs to know, what should I boot into? It's LightDM, my friends. I've chosen for LightDM. And then it's a question here, do we Skel or not? What do they say? It's important to let me show you here. Decide whether you use our Skel command or not. You can enjoy a Virgin ArcoLinux look if you want to. But in case you're installing a tiling window manager, and Qtile is a tiling window manager, I would suggest you use Skel. Now, the suggest part is because, for instance, i3 will give you something. It's rubbish in the sense that it's a black screen and it's a bar and you don't know the keyboard shortcuts for it, but it's usable, right? Skel is going to copy paste everything that's inside. Let's do ALL is gonna work, and then etc Skel. I think that's gonna work. Voila. So Skel just copy pasted everything that you see here with everything inside .config, everything inside .local, those are folders, to your system. And now I can safely say, after this Skel, now you can sudo reboot. Qtile will find its configurations, and otherwise it won't find anything, and normally it gets either nothing or a black screen or something blinking somewhere, but it can't find the config. You might end up with a message that LightDM, it cannot be started, but it's actually Qtile that can't be started. So the thing that's behind LightDM, well, doesn't work. So guys, this is Qtile. It's not ArcoLinuxB Qtile. It is, in all essence, still the ArcoLinuxD ISO, and it's not complete. Do you need Bluetooth? Do you need this? Do you need that? Do you need applications? Control Alt F. I am launching Firefox. So I'm trying to do it again. And then you put on your hat of Sherlock Holmes and you say, maybe it's not installed. And all the dependencies need to go in as well. So no, it was not installed. .45 packages, right? Control Alt F, Firefox. There you are. So it's still a lot of trial to figure out, okay, what's missing, what I want, what I don't want. Do I want to change colors, add icons, and so on? Is tuner there? Super Shift Enter. Oof, I have my tuner, but do I have also the custom actions? Thank God I have, right? Because if you're on Arch Linux, so phase 5 of our learning phase, there's only one line. Open terminal here, I think it is, and all the rest is not there. But it's all the rest that we kind of love, right? It makes it so flexible because of that. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fake that we're still in option 2. So we did not select anything in Calamares. I'm just gonna show this line, that's all. Running scripts, anybody can run scripts. But what if you do a Control F3, right? You are in the black screen. You've done your Calamares, but you did not select anything. Cool. You can always do anywhere on ArcoLinux 2, right? Anywhere you can copy paste, which is git clone from the github.com/ArcoLinuxD. That's the ISO we're using. And then decide. I'm gonna install Mate. No. i3. No, my brain says I need to have BSPWM and so on. It's all there with a dash, Eric, with a dash. If you type something wrong, you get this, right? Then you know you typed something wrong. That's maybe also interesting to have a look, to show it in the video. But it's Qtile. Oops, my fingers, I'm always typing blind, but if they're not in the right place, you get strange things. All right, this is it. Basically, those are all the scripts, and you can run the scripts again like this, and anything that's green is already installed, so nothing will happen. It's just gonna skip it. So something happened here. We installed XCP util cursor. And ls, we can install browsers 200. No, not 200, it's like that, like this. So what do I install? I install variety, or do I more? Atom is going to be installed, and so on and so on. This is the cherry picking part. This is the part where you say, I love this package for the internet. I love this package for the editor. I love this thing for the torrents. I love this thing for this and that. And you just let the machine do its work. You walk away, watch it. It will get installed either way. Inkscape and GIMP are going on there. Nomax is there. It's the list we're going through. And you want to delete some things in the list? Great. You want to add some things? Great too. Chromium is a big one. Look at that. Okay. Download size is not that big. VLC, the Swiss knife to watch any video. All codecs understood. And it's kind of fun to see all these things go by, and then sudo reboot again and have a look. What did we change? Well, not anything. In Qtile you don't see anything. Why? Because basically it's all hidden. It's keyboard bindings, right? There's no menu to have a look what's in there. Look at this. Variety is kicking in. Oh, accept. Okay. How to start, quit, change the settings any way you see fit, close. And just gonna test something. F11, F10 is not working, so Rofi is not there. I can do an Alt F2 and not an Alt F3. So all the applications I've just installed are reachable by GIMP. Super Shift D is on probably 20 desktops, so meaning it's all on all our desktops because we like to have it. It's on our fingers. This comes from i3 or other tiling window managers to launch a menu. And of course, yeah, you do need to know the name Inkscape. If you really can't recall how the application is named, that's gonna be difficult, right? But on our systems, ArcoLinuxB, we have an F11, F12. There is also an Alt F3 to have the XFC app finder. We could install it, right? This is your fun. We have as motto, learn, enjoy, and have fun. This is having fun. Thinking, okay, basically what I need is XFCE4, but how is it called again? Tap. It's called App Finder. That was it. App Finder. Okay. My Sherlock Holmes hat is on. Alt F3. there it is. Okay, so what was the name again? The name was, where is it, the name again? And upla, you again have a menu that's possible. It's freedom. I'm putting something of XFC inside Qtile. Why not? Why not, right? There is also Rofi, sudo -s Rofi. And we have our nice themes. ArcoLinux, Rofi, and what do we have? We have Rofi Git. So that's the settings of Rofi and the themes. Let's install it, right? Skel, remember Skel. It says here it's installed in etc skel.config Rofi. If you, oh, that's wrong. If you want to have it on your system and it needs to work on your system, you need to do, this is old, no, sorry, this is, let's have a look, Super F11, that's Rofi, and this is Super F12, which I like a little bit more, a little bit smaller, but again, you need to know the names, right? Again, you need to know what to launch. Did you ever type in this one? Oh, it's not there. Sorry, never mind. So you still need to know names. And a super Q is gonna quit things. Control T is there. Super Shift Enter is there. It's still very much a learning phase, and you still need to learn how Qtile works. So you go and follow the articles, Qtile articles, and you have fun filling your brain with all this knowledge, right? Installation, 24 articles just about Qtile. And sometimes you see another name and it says any desktop. Sometimes there are articles that just apply to all of them, right? And then I'll mention, then it doesn't really matter on what desktop you're doing this, because it's going to work everywhere. All right, I'm out, guys. Enjoy Qtile. All right, cheers.